So we'll go ahead and start on our backs, actually. So find your way to your Shavasana. While I'm getting all my things aligned here, hitting record. And if you need a little bit of extra space in your back, you can put a towel or a blanket underneath your knees. Or you can just lay on the mat. And just find some nice, deep stillness here. And notice what's showing up. Notice if you're laying a little unevenly or if one side is more tender than the other. We very rarely take the time to check in and see what's going on with our body during the day. It's a really great opportunity. And just let your breath come, breathing in and out. Let's start to walk the feet to the mat, bending the knees. And then let the shoulders be heavy here. Their upper body is really heavy on the mat. We'll just cross the right leg over the left and push gently into that right leg with your hand. And then reach between the legs. Pull that figure four a little bit closer, a little reclined pigeon here. We're going to revisit this shape in a couple of different ways today. Sometimes I like to kind of add a little bit of rock side to side, back and forth here. If that feels good, go ahead and do that. Now gently releasing that foot back to the floor. So the left foot stays on the floor, the knee is bent, and let's bring that right foot into a half happy baby. So bending the knee, pulling the leg down by the thigh, and opening up into that hip a little bit more. I like to bring my thumb right to my big toe or the knuckle of that big toe, wrap the hands around or the fingers around the pinky side of that foot, and then just use your left hand to apply a little bit of pressure on that hip and then opening up into that knee. So you can play around with how deep you come into this shape. And then we're going to cross. So bring that right leg back across and cross that right leg on top of the left, and then pull both of those legs in so that you can see if you can grab onto the ankles of each leg. So now this gets a little bit deeper into the glute medius, into your underbutt, as we call it in bar class, of that right leg. So we're really working into those deep tissues here on that whole hip. So you might feel a nice stretch. Go ahead and release that. Put both feet on the floor and take just a gentle windshield wiper, a little side to side action here. Notice the differences between right and left. And let's work through that series on the second side. So we begin with that gentle hip opener, cross left over right at the ankle, flex the foot and push into the left leg. So take about 3 breaths here before you move any deeper into this shape. Just let your body get used to the movement. That nice hip opener. And then as you feel like you're starting to open, you can start to work into that deeper stretch if that calls to you, pulling the legs in. This is a really nice time to scan your body, find any areas of tension, relax any muscles that you can relax. Go ahead and release that figure 4. Find your way into that half happy baby. So finding that same shape we did on the right leg with the left. And then go ahead and release, and let's cross that left leg over the right, taking that modified eagle, grabbing opposite. So if you can't quite reach your ankles, I have to kind of shimmy up and then come back down into it for a nice deep stretch. You can grab maybe the calves if that works for you, or just wrapping your hands around the knees, whatever kind of works. But if you can pull those heels towards each hip, it helps to get into those glute muscles. And you'll feel it. It's a super deep stretch. And then go ahead and release that. Unravel the legs. Let's take that windshield wiper again to realign and find a little bit of even right to left here. Then we're going to work our way to seated. So you can grab behind the knees and roll up, or you can roll off to the side, which is what I'm going to do today. Just roll off to the side and find your way into that seat. We're going to get into those same muscles just from a different angle again. So go ahead and extend your left leg And bring your right leg on top and cross until you have that figure 4 stretch going on here. Bring your hands down by your side and then just slide that left foot in until you feel a nice stretch here. So I like this because this is kind of a total body figure 4. And you're just going to turn your fingers away and squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift the heart here. And then that'll open up through that whole back of that, kind of the side of that right leg. You can let the head drop back if that feels good. If that's not for you today, keep squeezing those shoulder blades together and tuck your chin. So it's neck stretch, heart opener. You're getting into the biceps and the delts. And you're getting this nice figure 4 here. Beautiful. Go ahead and release and just let that left leg slide down. The right foot's going to come to the mat and it's magically crossed over the left. And then wrap that left arm around the knee and look over the right shoulder. So you can keep that right hand behind you. If you want to open up into the shoulder more, you're going to wrap that right arm around and see if you can work it into the left hip crease. And then go ahead and unwind, unravel. So the only thing that's going to switch about these legs is that bottom leg is going to fold underneath. So this should feel familiar again. So now you've got your right leg on top, your heels are coming back towards your hips. And then we're just going to find eagle arms to match our Gomukhasana legs. So wrapping left arm underneath the right, either bringing the elbows or the backs of the hands together or taking that double wrap. So you can stay here. This is enough for most people. If you can hinge forward and do that without any knee discomfort or back discomfort, you can start to do that. And just gradually work into it. So on one side, I can fold all the way down nice and deep. On one side, it's a little bit less intense. So whichever version kind of fits for you right here today. Let the head be heavy. Go ahead and release. Come on up. Unravel those legs. We're going to extend them out nice and long to reset here. So finding your way to, they call this seated staff, Dandasana. So extend your legs nice and long, pull your toes back towards your face, and then reach your arms up on the inhale. Maybe press palms together and look up. And then go ahead and hinge and fold as far forward as works for you. You can put a little micro bend in those knees if you like. When you're folded as far as works for you, you can drop the hands to either side of the legs, or if you have the stretch today, you can grab those big toes and melt down towards the knee. And then go ahead and roll back up. Let's take all of that to the second side. So we're going to cross the left ankle over the knee. And I always do this when I have super slippery pants on. And then start to slide that right foot in. And then like me, if you have the space or you need a deeper stretch, you're just going to scooch the hip closer to the heel. Wherever you end up is right for you. It's perfect. And then if you can, start to work the fingers behind you, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then lift the heart and drop the head. If it doesn't feel good to let the head hang behind, you can tuck that chin. And then go ahead and start to slowly extend that right leg long. Come back off those hands. Slide that left foot to the floor. Right elbow comes around the knee, and then looking over the back shoulder. Maybe taking that bind with that left arm if that feels good. Go ahead and unwind that twist. Scooch the right leg behind. Stack the knees. So when you look down at your knees, the closer to aligned you can get them, the better the stretch is going to be. But honor where you are today. So it's very rare I can get both knees stacked exactly over each other. I think I just have too much hip to do that. But you know, as close as you can get there. Slide that right arm underneath the left. Bring the backs of the hands together to test it out. Maybe taking the double wrap. You know, sometimes I can hook my fingers together, but usually it's just hooking that finger on the thumb and then starting to hinge and find that nice deep stretch, cow face, kind of. It's like half cow face. Go ahead and unravel, unwind, come all the way back up. And our last stretch here before we do a little bit of flow is going to be a straddle split. So find your version of a wide-legged straddle split. Bring the toes back towards your face and then start to draw your heart towards a spot that should meet about in between the heels. So if you were to draw a line from heel to heel, where they meet, that's where you're trying to aim your heart for. I'll just put my hands there. So you really want to glue those hips to the ground, engage through your belly, and just bring that fold from this hip crease. Using your hands, starting to walk back up. Scoot your feet over to one side. Let's find our way to standing, or actually a forward fold at the top of your mat. So your feet are underneath your hips. Put a little bend in the knees, and then maybe the hands come to blocks or to the floor. You can just dangle if that feels good. Let the head be super heavy. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, start to walk your hands up the front of your body, coming all the way up to standing, shoulders rolled back and down. Fingertips reach for the floor, and then looking or closing your eyes, but aiming your third eye straight out in front of you. I want you to root down through all four corners of the feet, lift the toes, spread them wide, and grip them into the mat. Going to flow just nice and gently here. So sweep the arms all the way up with the inhale, the whole inhale all the way up. Press your palms together. And then as you exhale, slowly start to melt down back into that forward fold. On your inhale, stay folded, sweep the arms behind you and interlace them behind your back. And then as you inhale, I want you to find a little bit of length. So draw your shoulders up halfway, squeeze those arms out, and then exhale, fold. We'll do that a couple more times just to get used to that flow. It's nice and meditative. So drop the hands down. Inhale, we're going to roll up nice and slow. Keep inhaling, hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, super duper slow and controlled all the way down. Inhale, you're sweeping the arms around behind you to interlace. Exhale, you're melting over the legs. And then on your inhale, you're going to find a little bit of a half lift. So extend those knuckles towards the sky, engage through your core, lift the shoulders so they're level-ish with the hips. And then exhale, melt, and let those hands fall towards the front of the mat. Inhale, release those hands and start to roll all the way up. One big inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those hands around behind you. Exhale, drop your body towards your legs. Inhale, find that little half lift. And then exhale, fold. Nice. Release the hands and then inhale all the way up. On this one, we're just going to exhale and fold. So fold halfway down. We're going to step that left foot back. Left knee comes to the mat, and then walk your hands to the inside of that right leg. So just kind of squeegee your right foot to the outside of your mat here, turn the toes out, and let's find our way into a nice, gentle lizard stretch here. So let the hips kind of fall down. You can stay here. This is enough. Or if you need a little bit more depth, because we've worked really well into stretching, you can walk that left hand under the shoulder and bring that right hand to that right knee. Now you can stay here again, or you can bend that back foot and reach back and grab on for a quad stretch. If you try a shape and it doesn't work, it's okay to back out. We're going to go ahead and release. Release that back foot. Bring both hands back to the mat. Lift that left leg and then go ahead and step forward. Back into a forward fold. Just heel toe your feet together. Melt down over the legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Standing up nice and tall here. So we're going to find our last in our peak pose here. We're going to bring this right leg to a standing pigeon. So lifting the right foot and just setting it on top of that left knee. Again, slippery pants. Sitting back, hands stay at heart center. So it's like you're sitting back. If you want to grab onto a chair or a counter or the back of the couch, you can do that. Once you find this figure four, we're going to go ahead and start to bring the elbows down to the shin. So your left elbow is on your left foot, your right elbow is on your knee. Sitting way back, just leaning on the table. And then go ahead and bring your fingers to the mat, release that right foot down, and just melt down over the legs. Take a nice little side to side. You can pedal out your legs here in this little forward fold. Find a nice half lift. And then plant the hands. Let's step back with that right foot. Right knee comes to the mat, so way back. Bring the left hand inside the foot and step that left foot out. So take your time. We have lots of time to work into these poses this morning. When I have the time, I like to really take it step by step to get into a deeper version. Now, if you want to, you can start to peel open that left hip. Maybe move that right hand underneath your shoulder. If it worked well on the other side, you can bend that back knee, maybe reach back. See if you can find ease somewhere here. Go ahead and release that back foot. Start to walk both hands back to the mat if they're not already. Firmly plant that left foot, lift the right leg, and step forward into that forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. And then exhale, fold back down. Inhale, find that half lift. We're going to step back into a tabletop shape. So just about 3/4 of the way down the mat, and then just drop the knees. And let's find a cat and cow here to work through the back. Uh-oh, I forgot figure four on the left side. How could I do that? I guess we'll have to go back and do that. So take our nice cat and cow here. And then we'll go back and catch that left leg, curl the toes under, lift the hips all the way up, and then step forward back into that forward fold. Sometimes you just got to go with it. And then inhale, root to rise all the way up. Press palms together, hands draw down to heart center. So find that balance. That's really going to help you to find that base first. Lift the knee up even with the hip, and then just turn it out, hook that heel on the knee, and then sit back and down. So you're bending into the knee, you're sitting back like your chair is just out of reach, and then maybe bringing your forearms down onto that shin. So try not to look around too much. It'll really help your balance, sitting down into this shape. Finding a little bit of ease here. And then if you can, bringing the fingers to the mat, unhooking that foot and finding that forward fold. Great. All right, now we carry on. Inhale, half lift. Let's find our way back to that cat and cow shape again. Whew, nice. Taking a few rounds. Beautiful. All right, let's find that tabletop. Knees are underneath the hips, hands are underneath the shoulders. We're just going to lift that right leg behind, knee stays bent. Open up that hip, really firm through the hands pressing into the mat. Engage your core and draw that right knee towards your right bicep or tricep maybe. And then bring those knees together. Inhale to lift, exhale, open, and find it's like a little hip circle. And then together, do one more. Up, open, together, and then place that down. Let's go right to the other side. Slide that left leg up, open the hip. So you're creating a little bit of like a dog at a fire hydrant. And then bring that knee in towards the shoulder. Bring the knees together. Up, open, forward. So it's like a clunky circle. One more for good measure. Nice. Bring those knees together, sit back into a close child's pose. So the knees are together. You're rolling over the thighs. The forehead comes to the mat. Releasing the hands to the mat, starting to rock forward. We're coming all the way down onto our bellies, so make sure you have room on your mat here. Coming into our Sphinx pose. So the forearms are on the mat, the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Fingers are splayed super wide, and then starting to draw those elbows back as you lift the heart up. Hips are coming down into the mat. I like my feet to be a little bit wider than hip level here, hip width, and then lift. So this is definitely a back bend. It's a heart opener, it's a back bend, it's energizing. I like to do them at the end of a class. Keep pushing down into the mat with the forearms, the elbows. And then go ahead and release all the way down to the mat, and then find your way onto your back for Shavasana. So like at the beginning, if you want to prop the knees up with a blanket, you can. But since we did a lot of hip openers, it might feel really nice to come to your butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees splay out to the side. Fingers are reaching down towards the end of your mat. Palms are up. Eyes are soft or closed. If you have your knees in your Baddha Konasana, go ahead and bring them back together. You can use your hands to help you. Maybe taking that windshield wiper side to side motion. Finding your way towards one side and pausing there. Coming to any seat that feels good for you today. Any shape that allows you to find some stillness. Taking a few moments here to just be still. No expectations. How does stillness show up for you here? As thoughts pop into your mind, just let them drift away, or maybe gently pushing them out of your awareness. Imagine your awareness as a bubble, and then you just gently ease it outside of that bubble. Just be comfortable with nothing, comfortable with being still. Comfortable with the emptiness. Sometimes we work really hard to fill all of the space so that we don't have to be alone with ourselves. Slowly starting to let things into your awareness. The sounds in your room, feeling of maybe the light coming in the windows, how it feels to sit physically on your mat. Perhaps setting an intention today to find little slices of stillness throughout your day, little pieces of nothing. Bringing your hands to heart center, maybe bowing your head if you choose. Thank you for joining me on the mat this morning. Have a fabulous rest of your week. Namaste.